Well, hello everybody. It is your sort of daily Leeds United news, and we've heard something a little bit niche about Joe Rodon as of around about 50 minutes ago. It looks like Spurs, it's a top tier source as well, Alistair Gold. I was fortunate enough to work with him a couple of times actually, and he's top tier when it comes to Tottenham Hotspur, and he was saying that Tottenham Hotspur, how many times can I say Tottenham Hotspur, are looking to extend Joe Rodon's deal by an extra year. Now, they had this option in his contract that is going to be activated, which will take him to 2026. It was until 2025 with an option to extend, and now Spurs have extended that deal now. I know a lot of you will be having a meltdown at this moment in time, and I sort of understand why, but don't take it into too much consideration. Basically, what's happening there, to explain this a little bit further, is that the reason they're doing this is to essentially squeeze a little bit more juice out of the deal. He's had a really good season at Leeds United. We're all very, very aware of this, and I think that's why Tottenham have essentially decided to extend the loan deal, which is a bit annoying for Leeds United, it has to be said, because that obviously means you know, Leeds are going to have to pay maybe a little bit more of a premium for Joe Rodon, with which, when it comes to the financial situation this summer, when it comes to Leeds owing a certain amount back and all this sort of stuff, it's kind of not, you know, it's not ideal. Were the Leeds Chiefs expecting, you know, the Rodon deal to be a little bit cheaper? If, you know, now this extension has been activated, it essentially means that Leeds are going to have to play ball, and probably, if they want Joe Rodon, pay a little bit more money. Daniel Levy being the top negotiator that he is, it's a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. Yeah, I planned a little bit of a different video tonight, but I think the key to note with Joe Rodon is the money that we'll probably spend is going to have to be around 12 to 15 million quid. Now, that's been the rumoured value. Can Leeds afford that? I just don't know. I don't know right now. Is that a fee that is likely? Is it, you know, can you be putting that sort of money onto a centre back when you've got your Nathan Wood, when you've got your Ashley Phillips from Spurs available on loan again, according to reports? Can you do that? Is it realistic? Or do Leeds have to sort of break this down, and do we as fans need to break this down and once again have that heartache of another lone player leaving Leeds United and breaking our hearts, a la Ben White? I feel, you know, if obviously the activation of the contract, which extends it to 2026, this means that, you know, the value, as I've just mentioned previously, will have to be a lot more. It'll have to be a little bit more lucrative. And it just makes it a little bit more complicated for Leeds. So can Leeds realistically spend that sort of money? Well, let's look at the scenario. If they can spend that sort of money and they're willing to spend that sort of money, then that's cool, that's fine. But what you've then got to think is you've got to concede maybe when it comes to other transfers that Leeds maybe are not going to be able to be as frivolous as they maybe wanted to be. Obviously, maybe Leeds understood that this extension was going to happen from the Tottenham Hotspur side. We're not 100% sure. I don't think many Leeds fans realised there was this sort of option in his clause as well. So obviously going from 2025 now to 2026, that makes it a little bit better for Tottenham, as I've just mentioned. And what does this mean with Leeds United when it comes down to it? What can we do realistically when it comes to this deal? Well, the proof is going to be in the pudding. As I've mentioned, 12 to 15 million quid is being rumoured by a few Spurs fans. I have to say it's nothing too concrete at this moment in time. But Alistair Gold, as I've said, is a top tier source, and the reason Spurs are doing this is obviously for financial reasons. So yeah, Joe Rodon, the activation has been triggered. Looks like he's staying on till 2026 at Tottenham Hotspur. As I said, this hasn't blocked the deal off for Leeds United. Leeds United can still make money through the Crysencio Somerville deal, through a potential Pat Bamford deal, through an Ilan Melier deal, through an Elia Grev deal, through an Archie Gray deal. Leeds have still a lot of capital. Leeds still have a lot of real positive things going forward when it comes to assets, and we could be in a real bad scenario here where assets aren't available and Leeds don't have them in their possession, but we do. and that gives us that stranglehold really. But the problem here is, how do Leeds go about this financially now? You know, that is going to be the big question with the chief wigs at Ellen Road now. Can we realistically, and even if you go a little bit lower, you know, if you've added essentially another year, so it's 2 years left on his deal now, even if you go as low as possible, you know, for a player like Joe Rodon, his age and everything like that, and his performances at Leeds, they're not going to be thinking below 10 million quid. Maybe we could have been thinking below 10 million quid if his contract had a year left on it, but now it's got 2 years left on it. It's a different conversation really now, and are Leeds going to be looking at alternatives now? If I'm Leeds United, I 100% am looking at every available option. And what we've got to think about as well here, everybody, is it's Cresswell, who's definitely going, Cooper, who in my opinion is definitely going, Straug, who's injured 10 to 12 times a season, and Joe Rodon, and that's it. And that's why I think it can be a little bit of naivety when it comes to some Leeds fans and this notion already that we've won the league. There is a hell of a lot of squad churn here, and that consistent element of which we were going to have at the back was going to be Joe Rodon. And I'm not saying that's not going to happen, of course I'm not. That still could happen with Leeds United, but it's going to have to take a bit of money. It's going to have to take a bit of money, and there's a reason Tottenham have done this. I don't think Ange sees him at all in his first team plans. Mickey van der Ven, you know, Christian Romero, obviously I know Ben Davies is there, is a little bit of depth, but they're apparently looking to delve into the centre-back market as well. You know, you forget they've got Ashley Phillips still on the cards as well, amongst a few other good names. Tanganga's been released, hasn't he? But they've not offered him any sort of new deal or anything like that. But Joe Rodon has had that extension option in his contract, and the reason they've done that is because he's had a fantastic season for Leeds. He's been dependable, he's been reliable, he's not been injured at all, of which he has been during, you know, his playing career. There have been stages where he struggled to remain fit. So yeah, it's unfortunate for Leeds, and if you're questioning now whether or not that does affect the deal, I think it will do. Yeah, I think it will do. I think it will do, because we're talking about Leeds selling players. I've just done another video which will probably now be out tomorrow on, you know, the likelihood of selling certain personnel. You know, have really been able to hopefully not get rid of our prized possession, which is Archie Gray, but we have to be able to sell other players on for good fees. Leeds aren't just going to do these cut options. You know, you've got Sunderland looking to sell Joe Bellingham for 20 million quid. Leeds aren't just going to be selling, you know, some of their prized assets for 15 to 20 million quid because clubs won't play ball. And I'm hoping that this summer there's not going to be this sort of we're not going to play ball attitude. So we'll have to wait and see, everyone. We'll have to wait and see regarding it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below when it comes to Joe Rodon. How are you feeling about it? Do you think Leeds now need to explore other options? Fascinated to hear what you think. Or would you just go, what would you do? Would you do 12 to 15 million for Rodon? Is it worth it? Let me know what you think in the comment section below.